Hi there, everybody. This is David, and Tales of Graces, in particular, is kind of like a milestone game in many ways. It is the Tales game that kicked off the revitalization of the series in the West, and since its release, we have received every single mainline console Tales release. So it only does seem fitting that for the 30th anniversary celebration, Bandai Namco chose this title as their first remaster of many to release worldwide. But do not go thinking that this is just some straight up port of the PS3 game, because it's not. There's all sorts of different added quality of life improvements here, and I do want to tell you all about it and my experience with the game in this full review. And I do think that is worth a sub, as I do try my hardest to get 100,000 subscribers. With your help, your like, and your sub, I just know that I can get there. So thank you so much for that. And now, let's go ahead and dive right on in to this classic game. First things first, I do want to let you know that the game is available for the PS4, PS5, and Xbox family of systems, as well as the Nintendo Switch and the PC. However, of all those systems, it is only available physically on the PS5 and the Nintendo Switch, and I will include a link below if you would like to purchase this physically and also help out the channel at the same time. And while the game was originally released back on the Nintendo Wii, but only in Japan, we actually got the PS3 version of the game, which was enhanced with HD visuals, as well as a future arc called Lineage and Legacies, going over what happened to the characters 6 months after the original ending. And thankfully, unlike some other ports that we've recently received, this includes that Lineage and Legacies arc. And if you've been following me over on the Twitter, you will know that in order to prepare for this review, I actually went back and I replayed the original game, because it has been a hot minute. Whenever I say a hot minute, I really mean 13 years since I played the original game. So I just wanted to kind of refresh my memory on what the original was like and how it played, so I can see what the differences were between the two games. And because of all that, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that, yeah, the quality of life additions here are a much welcomed improvement. So not only does this version of the game include all previously released DLC from the PS3 version, as well as the newly localized scenes that weren't in the original version, it has other quality of life features that really just kind of pushed it over the line for me. Things that we take for granted nowadays, such as auto-saving, being able to skip various cutscenes that you don't want to sit through for the billionth time, and they also took a page out of Bravely Default's book, because you're actually able to turn on or off enemy encounters at will if you want to. Now, maybe I am a little bit biased, but I love the Tales series. It's right up there with Final Fantasy and the Dragon Quest series as really my top 3 favorite RPG franchises of all times, and Graces here is no exception. It follows a group of friends throughout their childhood and into their adulthood, and I use that term loosely, because as we all know, adulthood in a JRPG is really just like being a teenager, so whatever. Anyway, this still really is a great coming-of-age story, because you actually get to see the characters grow and evolve around you throughout 3 different time periods. For example, Sharia. She starts off as this sickly little waif of a girl before growing and evolving into the biggest bitch you've ever seen in your entire life. Jokes aside though, it is rather refreshing to actually see how these characters all change over time, because it's not something that you typically see in a JRPG, and especially in Tales games. So like I said before, the game takes place in 3 separate arcs, and you play as Asbel, the son of a lord, who along with his dorky little brother Hubert, discover a mysterious girl named Sophie, who of course has amnesia. And while Asbel's father wants to do, the responsible thing and turn Sophie into the authorities in order to, find her parents, our little idiotic hero will hear nothing of it, and instead decides to take care of her himself. So off they go on their little childhood adventures, meeting up with some other important people like Prince Richard, before being unceremoniously separated, and then 7 years go by, where the story again picks up when they're all about 18 or so years old, and the 3 main nations of the world are pretty much on the brink of an all-out war against one another. And this adulthood arc is the main meat of the storyline, although it does get all tied up quite nicely in the future arc, which kind of wraps things up, as it allows some romance to flourish between the characters even. It's just a very nice touch. As far as gameplay is concerned, this is the first game in the series to ditch the traditional overworld map, instead opting for linear regions between the various towns, dungeons, and areas. And here you'll find different treasure chests, sparklies to grab, and maybe little offshoots and cabins and different people to talk to, discovery points to stumble across, and of course, copious amounts of monsters, which do occur on screen. But again, in this version, you can turn off the encounters if you want to. Just don't do it too often, because then you'll get into a forced encounter with a boss fight, and you'll just get your ass handed to you. Whenever you do get into a fight, the battle system is fast, fluid, and fun, and they've ditched the MP or TP system from the previous games, and they instead opted for something called the CC system, which stands for chain capacity. Every ability that you use, whether it just be like a regular physical attack or a magical spell or a special skill, will use up a varying amount of CCs, and depending on the combinations that you'll do, you'll regenerate more CCs over time. So it really is kind of like a balancing and juggling act to chain your combinations together in order to pull off a ton of damage with the limited amount of CCs that you have. All told, I really do love this battle system, and between changing up your combos together and trying to get off perfect guards and everything else, it's very in-depth and there's a lot to it. I mean, it's so in-depth that I'm actually working on a combat guide as we speak that will be coming out pretty shortly, so do be sure to check that one out. Then, there's the upgrade system, which I think is just ingenious. Titles have been in Tales games since like time immemorial, but they never really did much of anything. Here though, that all changes, because titles are the name of the game and they are how you upgrade your characters. And here, you get a title for like everything. You'll be getting titles for side quests, titles for talking to people, titles for feeding cats, titles for using arts, titles for dodging, titles for guarding, you name it, there's a title for it. And each title has 5 different bonuses or abilities that it can teach you, which are leveled up using SP, which you gain through battling, as well as through doing side quests. Now, you are going to be getting so many titles, you're just not even going to know what to do with them, so you really have to like pick and choose which titles you want to level up, so you can really customize your characters to your heart's content. You can have them focus on learning more arts, or gathering up more CCs, or they can focus on different stats like their attack or defense, or you could just kind of like take the lazy way out and let the game just do it for you, so you don't have to like live in the menu all the time. Not only is this upgrade system incredibly fun, but it's also great because it actually makes the side quests worth doing. Normally, in other RPGs, it'll do like a little side quest and you might get like some extra gold or some cute little item, and yeah, you will get rewards like that here too. But most importantly, you will just get a ton of SP, greatly powering up your characters, so it really does behoove you to do all the side quests. And then, you also learn more lore about the people that inhabit this wonderful and beautiful world. All told, I had a fantastic time with Tales of Graces F Remastered. And if you're a fan of old school RPGs, action RPGs, or just, good games in general, then do not miss out on this. It is a classic that has stood the test of time for a reason, and now it has been upgraded for everyone to enjoy in today's day and age. So that's it for my review. But now I have to ask you, how do you feel about this game? And are you going to be purchasing it? Let me know in the comments, and let's all talk and chat about it. And if you like this video, please do be on the lookout for further hints and tips videos really deep diving into the mechanics of Tales of Graces F Remastered, because I have a lot planned for this game. So be sure to check those out, be sure to leave a like and a comment, and as always, have a good day.